everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Spit Talk podcast. My name is Jan.
My name is Aaron.
And I'm Kyle.
And today is another one of these retro reels? What the fuck do we call it?
Retro reviews.
Retro reviews.
No, it's a
How
retro
did you
review,
get-
but no,
but you're only
I know,
posting
but
reels about it.
What
so
do we do again? We spun the
The-
wheel. What was that
We
wheel
spun
called?
the wheel. I just called a
Wheel,
retro
reel,
movie
review.
Okay, whatever. Movie, yeah.
So
we spun
retro
the wheel.
roulette.
Retro roulette. There we go.
That-
See,
that
there
is
we
so
go.
far
I knew it
off
started
from
with a
real.
fucking R.
I know, but that's
Yeah,
so
so-
far off from real.
It's still an R. Okay, it's enough.
Fair
It's
enough,
enough for me.
It had two E's.
It had two E's somewhere. But yeah, so we're doing one of these again. It's been fun. So we're kind of watching older stuff again. This is one that I haven't watched maybe since I was like, I don't know how old I was when this thing fucking came out.
Yeah.
But we spun the wheel on
should
Sean
we-
William
should we
Scott,
mention- Oh, there you go. I was about to say.
right?
Yes, Sean William Scott.
Mhm.
Sean William Scott. So it was only appropriate for us to go back to probably one of his best films, The Rundown, with Dwayne
Is it his
Johnson
best? Wait.
before.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying it is his
Well,
best?
it's one of his best, I guess.
Like main.
I don't know, maybe critically. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I would go with like
It's a different role, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I would go with
It's a
like an
different
American
role.
Pie or something. But that's kind of some, we wanted to go the Rundown, also because this kind of coincides with the release of Dwayne Johnson's new Santa Claus movie or whatever the fuck. So it's all coming out. So it kind of just makes sense.
He's,
we're going
he's,
with
he's
that.
our Mariah Carey of the movies.
Yes. Well, who?
And he's saying Dwayne.
No, I'm just going.
Oh, Dwayne. Yeah. So yeah, this was a movie from 2003 before Dwayne Johnson was bankable. Any thoughts? Who watched it? The freshest out of all of us? Because I think I watched just a couple weeks back before we.
I watched it like 3 hours ago.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Okay. So
Mine was 3
what do you
hours
think
ago.
about it? And okay. So first of all, let me just preface by saying this is directed by Peter Berg, who also did stuff like a bunch of Mark Wahlberg things. Really, like fucking that. What is it called? He did the one with like the Patriots Day. He did Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg. He did the one where he was the lone survivor. It's that same director, Deepwater Horizon. Like, for some reason, he likes working with Mark Wahlberg. So this is one of his first films, The Rundown. So Kyle, what do you think about The Rundown and Dwayne Johnson and Sean William Scott? I guess.
It's like, I mean, it came out in like 2006, right? Or was it 3? I forgot.
3.
2003.
3, right? And it's kind of crazy just seeing how young everyone else was too, right?
Yep.
So it was cool. It definitely gave I did like the first like 30 minutes of the movie, and I was like, oh, this is cool and dope. And then like after the fact, but like overall, like, how do I say this? It's kind of hard to just kind of I just watched it like 3 hours ago. I don't know what to talk.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so but you liked it. You
I
overall
liked it. No, yeah, I liked it overall. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Aaron,
Okay.
any?
So for me, just to relate it to Jan, I know it's about Sean William Scott, but man, I like seeing The Rock not be the final boss in this episode, right? Isn't he called the final boss? So I like seeing him not be the final boss. So I think I realized like I like his earlier stuff than what he is now, and I guess we'll talk more about it when we get into it.
Yeah, same boat. I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, obviously Sean William Scott does his thing, and that's the reason why we're even doing this episode. But obviously, The Rock is the main guy, and it is refreshing. I liked it too. I think it's one of his best films, and it's refreshing because it's a Rock character before he established a Rock character, in his films.
Yeah.
And it was really refreshing to see in a movie like this. So, like I really did dig it. And it was great to go back on.
I do remember
And
what
it was-
I wanted to talk about, and in terms of like, Sean William Scott and like Dwayne is like, I guess, and I don't know if it's because of just like Sean's character, but like the chemistry was just kind of not. I didn't like between them. And granted, I know like the role difference, and like Dwayne was supposed to be like the more main one. Um, but I don't know, just kind of it wasn't up comparing it to like in hindsight with like more of Dwayne's like older movies, right? Like it was like, definitely different. So, but like it wasn't bad or anything, but it just didn't have that like 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 even back then movies like that kind of it played it through. Whereas like later on, it's kind of like, oh, you kind of see more in depth like characters and stuff. But
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with the rundown, and I do want to get back to what Louis said about I guess Dwayne. But I guess rundown to me also is I liked how the story is simple. So again, we've been doing this retro roulette, like this is our third episode of doing retro roulette, and
Retro, yeah.
yeah. So for some reason, the stories are so simple, but like it gets me hooked. Unless I'm pulling the nostalgia card, I'm like, okay, this was good.
That might be part of it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I'm on the same
straightforward.
boat,
Like
though.
it's
Yeah.
straightforward. Like it's very just like linear.
and to answer what Jan said, or to hop on what Jan said about like the Rock being the Rock, having his Rock character that he is now, and the reason why I say he's not the final boss, because every Dwayne Johnson movie now, like I have no fear of, like, he ain't gonna lose, like all his movies now, like he ain't gonna lose.
Exactly.
But this one, it puts like, oh man, this guy might actually lose. I'm not sure if it's the size, but it's the way he acts. It's the way he acts.
Exactly.
Basically.
When
So
he was
the way
getting
how
tossed
carries-
around.
Dude.
No,
That
but just
Filipino
the
guy?
way he,
Yeah.
Yo.
Like
Yeah.
it was so funny. I was just like, oh wow, they're actually just tossing him around, and like like all his movements were very like you can tell the guide wires and stuff. But it was fun seeing him being manipulated, like, because like now, like Aaron said, like these movies now, it's like he's like the Rock. He's the guy that he's a tank on the screen.
Yeah.
But here he's
And-
kind of like
no, and
he
I
became
think
a
it's
ragdoll.
just like overall, it's how he carried himself in the movie. So
Mhm.
the way how he carried himself compared to him now, like he has like this aura, like the kids nowadays, they say he has like 100+ aura in like all these films now. But like back then, he was a no name technically, right? So I liked how he's trying to get into the acting business, and you do see it through, so like he's really doing his best in this film, and I think that's why I dig like what Jan said, his older stuff.
Yeah, I think like a lot of that is like his inexperience too. I think I think 2003. I don't remember exactly when he left wrestling full time, but he was still pretty much into that world, so he wasn't exactly fully immersed in the movie world. So he wasn't probably being given as much control over like the stuff that he's doing. And you could tell, and I like that a lot, because it's like, okay, look at Dwayne is he's actually a character in a movie instead of just you seeing The Rock. And I think that was my biggest gripe with his most recent movies now. Yeah, he's actually feeling like acting, and he's losing fights.
He takes on a persona, and
yeah, exactly. And I really like that, and I like that, like he was just there as the character. Like he didn't have to make it all about him. I mean, the main focus of the thing was with him trying to get Sean William Scott. First of all, let's talk about the story.
Even Sean William Scott, right? Like
he
kind of plays his like typical role,
mm-hmm.
just sprinkled in, right? Whereas like
sprinkled in, I think that's
sprinkled
the
in,
keyword,
right?
Sprinkled in.
It's sprinkled
not
in,
like fully him.
Yeah. So,
and I think
you compare that
to
with like how The Rock is now, right? It's kind of like you see the dynamic. Like
that's why I kind of disagree with you about the chemistry, and I think it's because the story kind of lends itself to that. It's like, so basically the story is about him, and he works for this guy. I don't know, some kind of like
he's
what is
basically
it? Like
kind of a bounty hunter.
He's a
kind
rich
of
guy. No, he's like an Rock's character is like an extraction guy. Like he just
like an
does
extraction guy. Like so basically he's trying to extract the guy that he works for's son, who's right now in El Dorado, doing God knows what, and he kind of just gets sucked into this whole thing in that world, and whatever's happening with like the treasure and stuff. Basically it becomes a treasure hunt movie, and I I like the dynamic with him and Sean William Scott a lot, more so than I do with like someone like I don't want to say Kevin Hart, but I'll say Kevin Hart just because he's there. He's the most
Yes.
recent guy.
Then that's true because this was his, like, I guess, adventure comedic role. Like, you can say it's technically his first. And speaking off of all those other characters, like, dude, we got Christopher Walken in here.
I know.
And Dawson here, right?
Rosario Dawson, yeah. I didn't
yeah, I
even
was
know
like,
she was in
oh.
it.
Exactly. I was like, whoa, this is a star-stunning cast, you know?
If there's like more than 4 people, they're like, oh wow, like I didn't know they all acted together in this movie.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Like that's probably in the game somewhere where all these 4 actors are in one movie, and we wouldn't have guessed it, you know. But
There is a
going off of Sean William Scott. Oh, sorry, Sean William Scott. I guess since this is about him, right? His character, like what you said, it is sprinkled on with the character that we're used to, but like what Jan said, he has his serious roles, and it's cool seeing him in that light compared to his other movies because like he really is good at it, you know. Like I guess I haven't seen any other role other than this, like, of him playing a serious character, so it is good to see him like all grown up now, like, you know, like as of now.
Oh god.
Like like for me, like, you know, because I'm used to seeing him play like
Stifler,
the funny,
and,
exactly.
I think that whole thing, and I kind of was, I mean, they kind of set it up in the end too. Like, I mean, not to wrap this up, I'm just kind of like going off what I remember. Really, the ending kind of lends itself to a sequel almost, with them kind of just doing their own thing. And it's a shame because I did like their chemistry a lot, but then I think there is talks of a sequel now that they just haven't gotten around to, and that's what I'm afraid of. It's because it, like, this was such a small thing on its own.
Where did you read this?
Dude, it's all over.
That's so.
Like,
that's really
like Peter Berg is still trying to get something done with The Rock, but The Rock's too busy. And and the thing is, that's what I'm scared of, is like, now that The Rock is like this major producer or whatever, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a hand in this, and he's gonna change up the character that we already kind of fell in love with in the first one.
It's gonna be The Rock.
It's gonna be The Rock. Unfortunately,
it's not gonna be Dwayne. It's gonna be The Rock.
So just that's why I just enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't the greatest story ever. It was really simple, but like, I think the characters lent itself well to an enjoyable time. So I think that's why that's why I really enjoyed it. And then I think that's why before, because this was like one of the ones that came out first, and then there's like, like the Tooth Fairy game plan, all that other stuff that came before that. For the longest time, and probably still now, I do think this is one of The Rock's greater roles, at least like acting roles.
If it wasn't a tier list, where would you put it? We did play that before, so like, if you had to put a tier list of
for Dwayne, I do like. I like another movie. It's kind of a similar thing where his ego isn't kind of overshadowing the movie.
I like Game Plan.
Is it Gridiron Gang?
No, it's a movie called Faster. Like, I don't know if you guys have even seen that.
Nope.
It's a 2011 revenge film. It's a 2011 revenge film. He doesn't even talk in the movie, I think. I don't think he has lines. I don't remember. Okay. But it's such a good little flick, dude. And it's with Billy Bob Thornton. And it's the guy from Haunting of Hill House. I totally forgot. But there's like a hitman. Like, I think that might be one of the next ones we do whenever we do another one of these. But Faster is a good one. That's probably one, and then I probably put The Rundown after that. So
interesting.
Yeah. What about you? What do you guys think?
If I had to tier it, just based on Rock or like Dwayne, I would give it like a solid A, The Rundown. If I had to, like, like if someone asked me like, what's a good Dwayne Johnson movie, I'll say The Rundown, or Gridiron Gang. If you're into that. I like Gridiron Gang, man.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I know.
I'd have to see, like, I mean, haven't watched all of like his movies, and especially like all the older ones. Like, there's some and stuff.
You
but
should
I'll probably put
start
it
with Scorpion King.
Oh no, I've seen Scorpion King. Scorpion King. I like Game Plan a lot. Oddly enough.
Game Plan, yeah.
Yeah, Game Plan was good.
Solid.
And so I'll
Is that
probably maybe
weird
put this
that
like high B, or I could put it also an A depending on like what
is
I've
that
already
weird? He
watched.
does his best acting with hair.
With who?
with,
With hair?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does his best acting with hair.
with hair.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
Oh
say.
wait, no. Faster is he's like bald, right?
Faster is
On that
bald
one?
already. Yeah.
Okay,
but
yeah.
honestly, yeah, I would say so. Maybe.
Do you think we will get a movie with him with hair in the near future? That would be great.
No,
No.
You
I don't
wouldn't.
think
He
so.
wouldn't.
So
with his
That
aura
sucks.
already.
That sucks.
no.
Yeah,
No,
he's-
I understand the aura, but like it's like, oh man, please put hair so
Too strong.
People
I started
can just be
thinking
like,
of this too. Because you know how like some actors have like these roles that are like, oh fuck, it's gonna be like a role where he's emaciated, he's gonna get so skinny and shit.
yeah.
Rock's not one of those guys. That's not gonna happen. So you
Yeah.
know, not anymore at least. So he's not gonna have hair in a movie. I don't think he's.
Hey
you know.
man,
He's literally playing Santa's security guard this week.
Batista's doing
you
it,
know.
so
Well, Batista's Batista, you know, and that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
That's definitely a different conversation.
If your
Um,
name is the final boss, that's like saying something, you know. For real, dude. I'm like, dude, if you're the final boss, you don't take orders from people.
Yeah,
I'm like, I guess you make your own rules.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, but,
don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do like Dwayne Johnson. It's just that a lot of his stuff lately, it's just been
recently.
overshadowed with.
when do you think where did he
stuff
kind
that-
of like where did he like fall off the cliff and just double down on this, like, you know, his acting career in this direction? Like where was the tipping point, you know, where he was like,
Aaron, do you have any
I-
thoughts on that?
If I had to put a theory, it would be was it like
Black
Fast
Adam?
Five.
Fast Five.
Fast Five is where like
is there any-
it teetered between good acting to like, oh, I'm gonna be this character and stay this character.
I think Fast Five was when he started that. Yeah,
Yeah, because
when he fell
did,
off.
Yeah,
probably
because when
Shazam.
he
Or Black Adam.
started having the like, oh, I am like the biggest dude in the room and you can't beat
Fast
me.
Five.
So like
Yeah.
it started
That makes-
like happening after that.
Yeah,
Because look, and then after that were like all his jungle movies were like
Jungle
basically- yeah.
The jungle movies.
fucking Jumanji. After that, what else did we get? We got like a fucking what's that
There was
movie
Hercu-
with
there
the
was
The Disney
Hercules.
one. Yeah.
There's a bunch
see?
of
There was
Disney ones.
Hercules in 2014.
Jungle Cruise. He did Hercules.
Yeah, see? So
Jeez.
I think after Fast Five is where I feel like the tipping point
That
where
would
he became
I can see that.
where he became
Wait.
the Rock to the final boss.
He had hair in Hercules. I just realized.
He did.
He had long hair, like a mane.
That doesn't
didn't he?
count. That's a wig.
That's you want like an actual.
I want actual hair.
Can the guy
Let him
even
grow his
grow
hair.
actual hair at this point?
You know
think?
what?
Like,
You know what? We'll wait till Moana 2. Then we'll see.
Ah.
Or
Oh, no.
Moana live action.
there we go.
Moana live
Yeah.
action.
That's the
See, I
only
didn't even
chance.
think about that. Like the live action, like he's playing himself again. So, all
So
right,
we'll
cool.
see.
But yeah, Sean
But,
William Scott, who this episode's actually really about.
But is there anything else that you've seen Sean William Scott's other, I guess, past American Pie? 'Cause I can't think of one, to be honest.
I watched an indie one last year. It's a super small movie called Wrath of Becky. I think it's like a sequel to a movie, but he was the villain in that one.
Wrath of Man.
And he was almost like he wasn't a cult leader per se, but he was like the leader of like this gang, like a small little gang. I thought he did good in that one too. Like it was a serious role. He wasn't exactly his usual Stifler kind of guy, his shtick.
He was in the
um,
first Final Destination.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
You don't remember him in that one? No, but the
No.
thing is,
Guy
he's
first.
also playing the Stifler kind of character there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because that was his.
I mean, that's
shtick
appropriate for the
between-
movie. He kind of just
Yeah.
fits into it. I just don't remember him sticking out.
And I think that's the point. It's like, if it's appropriate for the movie, because
He
in this
blends
one
in so
it is. It's a toned down version of that character, but it fits really
Yeah.
well into what
Yeah.
they're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could. It's weird because you actually believe him as this guy that knows all this stuff about like, whatever treasure they're looking for, or that you believe that that's what he's been doing that whole time. It's not unbelievable in some sense. Because if he handed up, it would have been like, it's just, it's like one of those Kevin Hart things where he's like an expert in something, but you can tell it's Kevin Hart as it's one of
Yeah.
those things. And I'm not trying to bag on Kevin Hart here. I'm just saying like it was believable for what he did. So.
Exactly, yeah. I think and I feel bad because like I don't want to say he fell off, but it just sucks because I don't know any other movie besides American Pie like for him, you know. I'm saying that because like what you said, his toned down version of Stifler is a good medium where he can do other roles, which I feel like I can see him play. So I guess my question to you guys is just like if he stayed this toned down version, what movie would you put him now? Like in any movie past, I guess, American Pie, like where would you put him now with this like toned version of him? If you had to choose. Like take out one character and put him in.
Like put him in that
like
world.
Yeah.
It's just not that it's just on brand, but probably Halloween thrillers or something. Like put him I don't know.
Dude.
Just reboot him into Scream 7 or whatever.
Let's put him in
Possibly.
Scream 7.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, honestly, I think probably because I've watched him in the Wrath of Becky also. Something along those lines would be pretty good.
No, you know what's so funny? When you said he was like a cult, like not a cult leader, but I guess a cult leader, I thought of Spider-Man 2. Like I was like, dude, I could see him play Carnage. I
could see that too.
Yeah, I can see him play Carnage.
I could see that too.
Like Sean William Scott as Carnage, like he fits the bill.
I mean,
that can
I
have
could
some
see it
realism.
Yeah, he's a little on the older side nowadays too, but yeah, I could also see him. Weirdly enough, now that you're saying it, as Earbard Thawne, maybe I don't know why. I could just kind of see it.
Oh,
yeah, that would be kind of a cool Earbard Thawne. Now that you're saying you're going that route,
dude, that would be good.
That would be pretty sick.
It could work.
Yeah, but like I said, he's a little on the older side, but it's still, it still would be interesting to see. But I guess that's kind of what we have. All we have for the rundown. Final thoughts. I mean, for any of you guys,
it's so weird. We haven't done our licks of approval. I don't know if we're trashing that or like starting fresh. Like, should we just keep it simple and just do stars or something?
No, keep it
no
licks
rating
of approval. No,
okay.
I was kidding. I'll give this a good 3.5 out of 5. It's a pretty decent film. If I catch it
3,
randomly.
Yeah.
That would be.
I think Kyle said 3, so I'm with Kyle on that. I would give it a solid 3. For the rundown. So with that said, thank you for listening. Again, we are the Spit Talk Podcast, amateur opinions by amateur reviewers. Check out our socials and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Quick bites.